Hi guys, got my cup of tea. It's Louis in the southwest UK. Good day to you. So, just so you know, I'm an Elvis fan. 100% got Elvis is back. I love talking anything Elvis, doesn't matter what it is. And part of my journey now is always searching for the truth. That's my new goal with my Elvis channel, that I'm listening to all the stories that are being told. I'm listening to all the documentaries, the biographies. I'm watching the movies. I'm reading all of the comments that I'm reading all over YouTube on thousands of different, not thousands, but hundreds of different of YouTube Elvis sites that talk about anything Elvis, anything Priscilla, anything Memphis Mafia, Colonel Tom Parker, ex-girlfriends, all the different topics that are very, very common. And I'm watching all of them now. And what I'm trying to do now is find out the truth. So if you look at my channel's name, Elvis Presley Daily Planet, the whole point of that name is that I do something daily. And I've added the words, searching for the truth. I am now searching for the truth. I want to find out what the lies are that are being told about Elvis. I've got Elvis's back and I'm going to back him up all the way. So I'm now listening to Priscilla's rewriting of history, going back to 1959. Right. I think my kids may walk in at any moment. I'm warning you, if they walk in, they're going to be noisy. As I was saying, Tino, you have to be quiet, yeah? I'm doing a live. There's a phone over there on the table. I give them the phone because it makes them quiet. They've been outside playing on their bikes with their mates for ages, and we've been to the park, and we've been to the shop, just on this table here. But you must be quiet. This is Tino, and he is 4 years old, and he's got a bit of charge in it. No, it's got some charge in it, and he is the boss of me. Yeah, I do as I'm told. Tino tells me what to do, and I listen. So anyway, as I was saying, so I am looking at anyone that's rewriting history. Yeah. So we have been spoon-fed a story going right back to 1959 about Elvis and his life, and the rewriting of history has been getting done by many people. We're not just talking Priscilla. Priscilla, I would say, is probably the main one. Yeah. But then you've got the Memphis Mafia, you've got Colonel Tom Parker, you've got some ex-girlfriends, you've got some ex-employees, and anything that I think that paints Elvis in a bad light, I'm going to look into it and find out if it's true, and I'm going to find out if it's been twisted or re-narrated. Yeah. So you guys, as Elvis fans, and some Priscilla fans as well, know that many untruths have been said about Elvis, and we also know that Priscilla has been altering her story in her interviews, going way back to the 80s and telling us things that aren't completely correct. For example, the most obvious one is that Elvis was always the unfaithful one and Priscilla was the loyal, sweet, innocent person waiting for him at home. This is the biggest lie that we have been told. And if you go by the book Child Bride, which I do have, by the way, that is the biggest eye-opener that gives us some kind of warning, some kind of inkling that things have been not being completely truthful, that we've been getting told since 1959. Yeah, do any of you guys agree with any of this? Do any of you guys think that we have been spoon-fed lies since 1959 and it's been going through the decades? And the other thing I'm saying is this, is that it isn't correct that Priscilla has been able to rewrite this history and tell her version of things. And many non-Elvis fans have fallen for the lies, the fact that he was extremely unfaithful, that he was aggressive and violent, that he was controlling, that he was mean to her, that he made her very unhappy and she was miserable in Graceland or in Palm Springs or in LA, wherever it is. And there are so many untruths about Elvis. And even when I'm listening to the Memphis Mafia interviews, because I've started watching them a lot lately, they are saying many things that paint Elvis in a very bad light. I think they're exaggerating. Now, remember, there is a good side to the Memphis Mafia and a bad side. I'm talking about the bad side that are saying things that Elvis would be completely ashamed of. Now, Tino, we do have to be quiet. Otherwise, I'm going to beat you, mate. Beat you. Now, are any of you, do any of you out there, spilling my tea, do any of you out there think that we are being lied to? Seriously, I'm asking you that. Do any of you think that Priscilla Presley and the Memphis Mafia have been lying to us for the last 40 odd years in interviews, in biographies, in documentaries? There are so many different versions in many books that have been written and rewritten and then updated and rewritten. Do you feel that Elvis has been unfairly spoken about by dozens of people? Dozens. Now, I know that there are thousands and thousands of people that knew Elvis. That includes celebrities as well as friends and family that speak very highly of Elvis and know all the good that Elvis did. Elvis really, really did do extremely good things for thousands of people. Elvis touched many lives. He was so generous that he really did help thousands of people. And right at the beginning, even at the beginning of his career, when he did, was it called the March of Dimes, when he helped the people, when he encouraged people to do the polio injection. Do you remember that, any of you guys? Where he literally saved millions of lives. Right? And Elvis, even when he first got money, had money, way back in 55, yeah, the first thing that came to him was to buy his mother the pink hat, that beautiful pink, and all that, because he just wanted to give, and he wanted to get a home for his family, and that included all his relatives and cousins, uncles, aunts, you name it. Elvis looked after all of them. So anyway, today's video, we have been talking about Jerry Schilling. We've been talking about Tom Jones. We're talking about Priscilla being unfaithful. Now, I found a video here, because what I've started to do, I've started to look into how Priscilla was being unfaithful. Tina, go and sit with Mum, because I've got to be quiet doing this. Doesn't listen to me. Doesn't really care. All right, Ria, I'm on the live. I did buy those chicken things for you. Oh, no, it's Gio. Should be ready now. This is Giovanni. He's 15 and he's watching the Euros. Who's playing? Is it Turkey and who? Turkey and Georgia. It's 1-0. Is that right? 1-1. All right, it's George. It was 1-0 just now. Now it's a draw. Is that right? Yeah. And yes, who played yesterday? Yeah. What was the one you were watching?
I watched the ball.
You watched the ball? Okay. My son is obsessed with football. He's very good at football. And his name's Giovanni. His mother is quarter Italian. I am Greek Cypriot. But I was born in England, Weston-super-Mare, England, the southwest UK. Anyway, try and do it a bit quietly, please. None of my kids listen to me. I swear it is. Anyway, so I found a video. I'm going to play it to you again. Now, let's see if I can find it. Now, in this video, there were names of different people that Priscilla has had affairs with. Yeah. So affairs. So we've got while she was with Elvis, and then we've got after the divorce. So let me just see if I can find it. So I thought it was very interesting. Am I going to find it? This is the problem. Is it that one? No, not that one. Where is it? Where is it? Is it that one? Oh, it was a really good video. I really wanted to play it for you. Let's just play for now. I'm going to play you.
Sir Tom Jones has struck up a romantic relationship with Priscilla Presley. Now, it's almost been a year since Tom Jones's wife passed away, and when he was asked about this dinner with Priscilla in Los Angeles, he said, "We have been friends for a long time. She's a lovely lady. We do enjoy our nights out together." But a spokesperson for Tom denies that they're dating and that they're just friends.
I mean, but they've been knowing each other, for many, many years. I mean, Tom and Elvis and Priscilla all were friends, for years. So
I think this is just adorable. I just think this is so freaking fabulous.
I've been breaking it down, and so we've got the one that first of all the stories were being told in Child Bride that she had a high school sweetheart, and before she met Elvis and after she met Elvis. I've worked out that she actually was only seeing Elvis for months when Elvis met her in Germany in around 1959, and then we know that they had this close bond where Elvis poured his heart out to her, worried about his future and worried about if he would be forgotten, and just being in a strange land in Germany all alone. And she was obviously an English-speaking girl, and he just felt a connection where he trusted to talk about his mother, the passing of his mother. And so we get this story that they had this real closeness, and then Elvis goes back to America in around 1960 to get on with his future and his career and make albums and make GI Blues, do the Frank Sinatra special. And we are given the story that she just sat there crying, waiting for him. But in Child Bride, many of you might know this, there's a completely different version of things, that she actually was quite promiscuous, and she was dating the high school football star of her school, and that she didn't really wait around for him. She was very naughty, and she tried to paint a picture that she was very sweet and very innocent for Elvis, using Cary Grant, who helped her to win over Elvis. But really, Cary Grant, what they're saying in The Child Bride is that he would only help her meet Elvis, without sounding too crude, for sex. So they're saying that she was having sex with Cary Grant so that she could get this meeting with Elvis, and that she did her hair in a certain style because it was like the woman that was in Love Me Tender. So she was trying to win him over as this sweet, innocent virgin that was very shy and quiet. So this is being disproved in the book Child Bride. Suzanne Finstad, the author of Child Bride, is saying that she has got evidence to back everything up that she is saying in the book. She's also saying that she recorded every interview in the book. And she's also got a bit of a history of a lawyer. So she has never been had a lawsuit against her by Priscilla. I think Priscilla did do a lawsuit with Cary Grant, and in the end he did lose, and I think $75,000 was awarded against him. And I think there was an agreement between Cary Grant and Priscilla that he didn't have to pay back the $75,000 if he kept his mouth shut. So do you think this is true, guys? Do you believe this? Part of the book mentions that there was a plot by the parents to help Priscilla get with Elvis and get his money and move to America and take advantage of him. Now, do you guys believe this? So we know that around when she was around 17 to 18, that she eventually did manage to get to Graceland. She had moved. I think she had visited twice, definitely once at Christmas. But eventually Elvis did talk the parents into allowing her to come over. He made some promises. How much older was Cary Grant? He was much older. I think he was 25. And, yes, he's getting hello, Holly. Thanks for joining in. Yeah. No, he's getting the right bashing as well. He's out of order. Cary Grant, to me, sounds like a bit of a sick individual. And he was massively taking advantage of Priscilla because she was 14, 15, 16. Yeah. Where are you, Holly? Just remind me. My name's Louis. Nice to meet you. And thanks for joining in. So, anyway, let's go a bit further down. So she's moved to America. Now, we know there was problems. Elvis was off making his movies. And making some albums. Where is this? PAFI? Where is that, Holly? And we know that, come on, Elvis was doing, he had affairs with a few people. We know he had affairs with Anne Margaret and Juliet Prowse, wasn't, and there was others. Florida, Pennsylvania. Well, I'm in the UK near Bristol. Have you heard of Bristol? Thanks for joining us, Holly. Anyway, so I think, this is my view, that once Priscilla did come to America and was living at Graceland and maybe one of the other homes, that they had a couple of years, I think, let me just work it out in my head, 63, 64, 65, those years, maybe even 66, where I do think Priscilla was a bit hard done by because Elvis was very career-minded. He was off doing his thing, making his films mainly. And I do think she had high expectations from Elvis, but the bottom line is she went to live with a superstar who was making films, who was making albums, who was the most famous man in the world, and all the women were literally throwing themselves at Elvis wherever he went. He was the best looking man that ever lived. I think there was a period there where probably it was tough for Priscilla. But I do think as Priscilla got older and wiser and more worldly, she had her eye on the men. And she, if you learn that she had, Elvis tried to stop her being bored. So he would give her karate lessons, dance lessons, and many other things. She had acting lessons. He bought her horses. So she had her own horses. And Elvis really tried to keep Priscilla active. And we know that she was having an affair with Steve Peck, the dance instructor. And I think Elvis caught her, and they may have even had a holiday to try and resolve things. And this was not long after Lisa Marie was born in 68. We know about the marriage, and that people have very strong views about the marriage. Elvis was had his arm twisted to get married, and that Vernon was involved, that the Colonel, Tom Parker, was involved, the parents of Priscilla were involved, and people feel that it was a forced marriage. And then you've got the conversation, Tino, you can't do that. You're so naughty. So anyway, so then we've got the conversation with Red West and Elvis after Vernon had sacked, I think, 3 of the Memphis Mafia members because they were being too heavy-handed. At some point, Elvis phoned Red West to try and sort things out because he was worried about this book that was coming out. And the conversation is all over YouTube where Elvis clearly says that he felt railroaded into the wedding. He did. Now, do I think Elvis didn't want to get married? I think it was 50-50. I think part of him did. Part of him wanted to do the right thing and do the decent thing. But I also think there was a side of Elvis that just completely knew that he wasn't ready to settle down. He was a religious man. He was a good Christian. He had good morals. So it was a massive dilemma for him, because I know that Elvis felt that because he was going to get married and he had a child, that he needed to be a good father and to be loyal and faithful. But I also know that Elvis didn't feel that he could do it because he wasn't ready and he didn't want to get married. Yeah. So but it was complicated because he obviously did want a child, Lisa Marie. So I think very quickly after the wedding, they both knew it was a mistake. Lisa Marie comes along. Elvis tried to be like a nice sort of family threesome, but I think both of them knew it was a mistake. Priscilla had her affair with Steve Peck. Elvis was off doing his thing. I think they both felt like they were single with a child. And then and it's known that in the '68 comeback special that Priscilla took Steve Peck to the '68 comeback special when they were rehearsing it, and I think from that there was no real happiness there. They were just sort of coasting, and very quickly she meets Mike Stone, karate instructor who was famous for doing karate with Bruce Lee, and they hit it off. I think Elvis takes her to see an exhibition, and I just think they were living separate lives. Priscilla was being naughty. Elvis, in his mind, just felt like a single man, and he had a lot of guilt because obviously Lisa Marie Presley, who he worshipped. And I just think if you really look at it, they get married in '67. By '68, yes, by '68. Right, I know I'm going to clean that in a minute. There you are, dude. Thanks, brother. Yeah, baby. Anyway, so by '68, it's all gone wrong, really, hasn't it? Yeah, she's having an affair. He's away, and then you've got. She meets Mike Stone around 1971. She's has an immediate crush on him as soon as she meets him, even though he was Elvis's friend. Yeah, and everything's a joke then. So she spends a year seeing Mike Stone behind Elvis's back, and then by '72 she's saying to Elvis, "I want out. I want to have a divorce." She's completely decided that she wants her own future. She wants to be famous. She's ambitious. She wants to get into TVs and movies. She wants to do promotion. We know about the hair products. We know about the perfume fragrances. We also know that she wanted to be famous. She loved being in the limelight. She loved attention. So once Priscilla had made up her mind that she was moving on and she didn't want Elvis anymore, she didn't need Elvis anymore. I think initially she tried to say she didn't want any of his money, but that was just bull. She very quickly wanted her pound of flesh. Elvis agreed a settlement. Elvis wanted out because he was so angry and upset with her for having the Mike Stone affair, which she basically paraded around everywhere in public. And Elvis just wanted her gone, and he was determined to have a divorce. He gave a very good settlement, which she agreed to. She agreed to stop using the Priscilla name. And then we all know that she kept going back for more. She wanted even more money a few times. And all the divorce documents are public knowledge now. You can find them on YouTube, on Google. They're all there now. A lot of people know what was agreed on the settlement, the amount of money, the cars, the motorbike, the bank accounts. It was all there. And so once Priscilla wanted out, she was so happy that she was out. She never regretted divorcing Elvis. And if you watch any interviews now with Elvis Presley, she always says, we got on better separated. We were happier separated. Right, I just want to quickly read some comments. Hi, Tracy. Right, Tracy. Priscilla and her parents both knew that Elvis had been dating Anita Wood for many years, and still she went after him. So I know about that. I know that Anita Wood had been seeing Elvis for a few years, and they were very close, almost got married. She was there when he went into the army. She went to many of his movie sets. They were very close. They used to spend many times just driving around together. Elvis's love was just to get in his car and drive around and go and get burgers at Crystal's. Yeah, she was lovely. Anita Wood was lovely. Let me quickly read these before they disappear. So, and I really like Anita Wood. She's one of my favorite of Elvis's ex-girlfriends. I feel Parker should not have pushed the marriage. I agree, Holly. I agree. He tried to do the right thing for his image. He was worried that he would get tainted. It wasn't the right decision. Elvis was pushed into a marriage that really was loveless. However, yeah, he worshipped Lisa Marie. I think Priscilla was pregnant with Lisa when they married, so many people feel she pushed him for marriage. Well, we know, hi, Deborah. welcome back. Thanks for joining in. We know it's very likely she was pregnant because to the day, 9 months after the wedding, they had the baby. We know that a baby takes longer than 9 months. And so, yes, it's very possible. So it could have been a shotgun wedding. I know Frank Sinatra helped them get married and loaned his aeroplane and that. So, Holly, yes, we're trying to find the truth, Holly. We're trying to find the truth. We're trying to, this rewritten story that's been rewritten by Priscilla the truth needs to come out. They were not suited to each other passionately. Personalities, nothing in common. She was the biggest mistake, unfortunately. I actually think that Elvis thought she was like a home, decent girl that was innocent. But the truth is, she's nothing like that, was she? She was a very ambitious woman and very money orientated, very career minded as well. And she loved the spotlight, didn't she, Priscilla? Which Elvis wouldn't have known. It all now falls in place. Yeah. So Victor Thomas. Hi, Victor. Thanks for joining in with us. Michael Jackson owned the ATV catalog, Elvis catalog. Did Mike bail her for Elvis? Did Mike bait her for Elvis? Let me just read that again. Michael Jackson owned the ATV catalog, Elvis catalog. Did Mike bait her for Elvis? I'm not really sure what your point is. Right, let's have a look. You could see the anger towards her in the pictures. And I've heard that from other people as well. So Priscilla was 14 when they met. Yes, he was, Victor. He was 14 and they had this very close friendship. But it's always been made clear, even by Priscilla, that no sexual intercourse happened till the night of the wedding. So, and she has said it over and over again. So we weren't there. We don't know the truth. So, but don't forget, in the 1950s, it was not uncommon for an older man to be with a younger girl. Yet not as young as 14, but it was very common for a man in his 20s to marry a teenager in the 1950s. It was different times, mate. And obviously, we don't accept that. I wouldn't like that. I would not want my 17-year-old daughter to be with a 25-year-old man. But it was different times. We have to put ourselves back in the 50s and 60s and 70s. Yeah. Don't forget that Priscilla pursued Mike Stone, who was married with one toddler and a pregnant wife, who he left to live with Priscilla on Elvis's dime. Yep, it's true, Tracy. Thank you. Deborah, but he was the love of her life. That was what she says now. But come on, he wasn't the love of her life. She was with Mark Garibaldi for 20 odd years. Even after Mike Stone, she very quickly moved on. Was it Richard Kardashian? Yeah. And then you had, who was after that? It was Mike Edwards, who was a sick. And after Mike Edwards, she had there was a number of affairs. Yeah. Before she got to Marco Garibaldi. This is the video I was trying to find. Let me see if I can quickly find it for you guys, because it lists. I played it earlier. I'm annoyed that I can't find it. Let's have a look. Come on, it must be here. No. Is it this one? No. No. Let me just go to these videos. I want to find this video because I think you'll find it interesting.
There is a Navarone.
Right, here we
during
go.
their time together. During this period, she was also a cat. No more about it. Watch the video.
Right, let me just try.
Has openly.
Right, here we go.
Has openly confessed to having strayed from his marriage vows at times. Now, there were rumors and reports of a close friendship between him and Priscilla Presley. But is there something romantic going on between him and Priscilla, who's Elvis Presley's former partner?
Right, that's one of them. Let's have a look.
No more about it. Watch this video. The karate instructor with whom she had a romantic involvement until 1975. Afterward, she had relationships with photographer Terry O'Neill and lawyer Robert Kardashian, who is known as the late father of Kim, Khloe, and Kourtney Kardashian from the reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Following these relationships, she dated a hairdresser named Ely Ezrazer and a financier named Kurt Kerkorian before moving in with male model Michael Edwards. Priscilla's most enduring relationship was with Marco Garibaldi, a screenwriter and computer programmer. They had their second child,
let's see if we can find another one.
Navarone, during their time together.
Or a source, as they say, has said that there is a spark between the pair, but that they are taking things slowly.
This is about Tom Jones.
Almost a year after Tom sadly lost his wife Linda to cancer. Do you think it's nice? I think it's nice.
I mean, they've both lost their loved ones. I mean, I know Priscilla lost Elvis years and years ago, and she's had a few people over the years, but I think that they're both. It's nice to see someone of the same age dating each other.
You hear that? She's had a few people over the years. Let's have a look. Right, let's just play this.
Jones rose to stardom in 1965 with a one-off massive hit, It's Not Unusual. Little did he know this would one day lead to him meeting Elvis Presley. Let's listen.
In 67 or something?
65.
65. And is that when you met Elvis for the first
That's
time?
when I met Elvis Presley. I was there, and you know, it was wonderful, Sunset Strip at the time. My first year in show business. And then I had to go to Paramount Studios for a song for something, and they said, Elvis Presley's going to be there tomorrow, and he would like to meet you.
And this just blew Tom Jones away. He literally could not believe that Elvis wanted to meet him. And Tom Jones lived very close to here in a small Welsh town called Pontypridd near Cardiff.
I thought Elvis Presley wants to meet me. It was unbelievable.
All right, just doing it right. So say hello. This is Yasmin.
What?
Yasmin, look at all the people that have joined us. I said, well, I'm going to dry that in a minute. Look at all the people that have joined us. Say hello. This is Yasmin. She's 7.
Daddy, where's my
Yes.
phone?
I don't know. Have a look, see if it's charging next to the bed. But I need to just quickly finish this. So let's read some of these comments. Thank you, Holly. Priscilla said her life was sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's Joe. Hi, Joe. Deborah, Priscilla had to give up Presley's name when she divorced, but after Elvis's death, she took the name back. I think that was even after Vernon's death. Do you know what? I'm completely in agreement with you guys. She should not have been using the Presley name. Once she gave it up, that was it. And when she took it back, I'm sorry, it was just for greed and money and ambition and to open doors. It was a cash cow for her, and I completely agree. She should not be using the Presley name. A few weeks after meeting Priscilla, his dad told that he was planning on marrying Dee Stanley. Elvis was devastated at the betrayal of his mum, probably bonded with Priscilla over this. Yes, I know about Dee. And didn't Elvis make them live in a separate house behind Graceland? Didn't he make them live in a separate house because he was so angry at Vernon for getting with Dee? But I know that Elvis was really good to Dee's kids, wasn't he? He really looked after them. So let's have a look. Yeah, I agree. Should never have taken that name back. Let me just see if there's any more videos here. So what do you guys think? Do you think Priscilla has been having an affair on and off with Jerry Schilling and Tom Jones? Tell me, guys, what do you think? Because I've been doing a lot of research, and I think there's a high chance that Jerry Schilling was having affairs on and off with Priscilla going right back to the 60s. And I think there's a possibility that Elvis caught Jerry Schilling, and this might have been part of the reason why Jerry Schilling left. And I know that Elvis did buy Jerry Schilling a house, but there's a possibility that Elvis wanted to get Jerry Schilling away from Priscilla. Because don't forget, Priscilla was adorable, yeah? So she could have any man she wanted to. And it was tough to be around Priscilla, especially if Elvis was away. Now, with Tom Jones, I'm not so sure. My gut feeling with Tom Jones is I don't really think that, back in the 70s when they met, I don't think anything happened. I really don't. Now, do I think something may have happened after Tom Jones lost his wife, Linda, to cancer in 2016? It's possible. It is possible because they were seen together many times. And he does have a fondness for Priscilla, Tom Jones does. So it says a lot about her character, because I just think anyone that is having affairs with even though they're your ex-husband, yeah, with old friends, it just don't feel right to me. It doesn't feel right. I think you're not a good friend if you go out with your friend's ex-partner. You're not a good friend, male or female. What do you think, guys? Hi, oh, thanks, Deborah. Big time. So, yes, I do believe she has had an affair with both men. Yes, I think she did catch them. Thanks, Deborah. So, I really think with Jerry Schilling, yes. Now, the problem is, Jerry Schilling comes across this lovely man, doesn't he? But you think about it, he was very, very close with Priscilla and with Lisa Marie. Right, hang on. No, kids, you got to talk quietly. Do as you're told, man. Anyway, I think the problem with Jerry is that he was a real close advisor to Priscilla and Lisa Marie. So I think some big decisions were being made because of Jerry Schilling. Yasmin, just take me to the other room. No. Right, I'm going to have to have the phone. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. No. Right, you be quiet. Okay, thank you. Anyway, as I was saying, Jerry Schilling was giving serious advice to Lisa Marie Presley and to Priscilla Presley. He was an advisor. So he had a lot of influence, yeah? So you think he would have been involved in the Elvis Presley Enterprises sale. He would have been involved in big decisions being made at Gracelands. And I think maybe even involved when Priscilla had decided to leave Elvis. I think that maybe Jerry Schilling was on Priscilla's side because come on, he was in love with her. I think Jerry Schilling may have been in love with Priscilla. What do you think, guys? So you think of the power that Jerry Schilling had, and I question why Jerry Schilling kept leaving. Great, he stopped working for Elvis 2 or 3 times. I know he was managing the Beach Boys, etc. But come on, he would not. Jerry Schilling would not have got his job managing the Beach Boys unless he had this reputation that he was working with Elvis. That's the truth. Working with Elvis opened a lot of doors for Jerry Schilling. And I question Jerry. I know that he comes across as this really nice guy and he's got a lovely personality. He's very likable. But I question his loyalties because he had a loyalty to Priscilla, even though Elvis was his best friend that he'd known since he was 12 years old. So it's a worry. It's a worry. The Jerry Schilling thing, the more I look into it, I'm a bit unsure. Yeah. So in the end, I think Priscilla had affairs and relationships with many more people than we even know about. I even read that she had a one-night stand with Richard Gere, but there's many other men that Priscilla has been linked with. So I don't want to use horrible words. I actually think Priscilla was a devil in disguise and did many things that she shouldn't have done. You know that I'm very passionate about, I don't like the way that she went behind Lisa Marie's back and tried to steal her company off her and take control from her. Her and Barry Siegel were very naughty. They should not have gone behind Lisa Marie's back, which is why there was an 8-year feud, because Lisa Marie found out what was going on. This is what caused the lawsuit with Barry Siegel and Lisa Marie Presley. So I'm sorry, but Priscilla has been, like, in my book, has really crossed the line and done some serious damage and cost Lisa Marie an absolute fortune. And I know you guys are very passionate and very upset about the Riley Keough situation with the alteration of the trust, because Lisa Marie wanted everything to go to the kids and not Priscilla, and Lisa Marie wanted Priscilla off the trustee, and she wanted it all for the kids, and Priscilla wanted her pound of flesh, did not want to come off being a trustee. She wanted to be a joint trustee with Riley Keough, which, come on, once Lisa Marie died, it all goes to the kids, guys. We know that. So Priscilla has been very naughty. And then you've got the situation where I think Riley Keough has given way too much to Priscilla to resolve things, agreeing to her being buried at Graceland, $1 million, $400,000 in legal fees, one night going to Navarone. There's so many things that the fans are so unhappy with. The fans are really unhappy with. Yeah, so Joe, talking about the possibility that Priscilla may have had abortions, it's very possible. So Marco Garibaldi, this is Deborah saying that he didn't like any of the Presleys, anything Presley. Then you've got Jerry was on Priscilla's payroll, hence executive producer of lots of EPE documentaries. I know that, Tracy. He's done loads of documentaries and books and biographies, and he played a major part of it. And I know that he was on the payroll. So this worries me. The so-called best friend of Elvis, who's done many interviews praising Elvis, saying how close him and Elvis was, how Elvis was the most important friend that he's ever had because he bought him a house. But was stuff going on behind Elvis's back that Elvis would turn in his grave now if he knew, with Jerry Schilling and Priscilla and money and property and business, and have these documentaries been lied and been telling a rewritten version of history, Jerry Schilling's version, Priscilla Presley's version. Yeah. So how many years have we all been getting lied to, guys? Is it 45 years of lies? And we're only now starting to understand. And a big part of the reason I've worked out that so much harm happened with Elvis's legacy and Elvis's image, I'm reading thousands of comments and I'm like, oh my God, are these true? We need to find out if they're true. Priscilla also took Lockwood's side in the divorce custody. I know. I've read all that, Tracy. It's not right. It's not right. Right. Riley settled out of court because it would have cost a lot more in the proceedings to court Deborah. Yeah, I didn't know. I think that she was between a rock and a hard place because the bottom line is it was her grandmother. So she was trying to find some middle ground, wasn't she? But I think Riley's a bit out of her depth. I like Riley, but I think she's a bit out of her depth. I'm not sure if she's got the experience to run a corporate business with people like Joe Weishanker, Jack Sodden, and Priscilla. Those types, they're very money-minded people, and I don't know if Riley's got the. She's going to learn fast, isn't she, Riley? She's going to learn fast. She doesn't have a choice. I don't know how involved the Scientology people are with all of this process. I got a feeling they are involved, and that worries me. Scientology being involved in the mess that's happening now, even with the Bridget Cruz lawsuit that's with Priscilla and Bridget Cruz, I think Scientology are behind it, some of it. Right. Being the only parent, she could have partially been the demise of Lisa Marie. Yeah, I agree, Holly. Jerry and Elvis were best friends till he caught Priscilla in the kitchen with Jerry in her night clothes. Elvis set Jerry and Priscilla straight at that moment. Thanks, Deborah. Yes, and I've read this. I've heard that he was also caught by Sonny West. Sonny West caught them up to no good as well. So Elvis treasured loyalty. He sure did. Yes, I really like Riley. She's a beautiful, lovely person. I love her interviews. But as running Gracelands, running large businesses, I don't know. I know she's a bit of a film producer. She's a good actress and all the rest of it. But she might be out of her depth on this one, guys. Let's see how it all unfolds. So, I can tell Riley's nice. Did you know that Riley's real name is Danielle? Did any of you know that, guys? That Riley's real name is Danielle. Yeah, I never knew that. And I've been looking at a lot of her films since learning about Riley. She's got some good films out there. She's made some great stuff. There's a free one on YouTube called The Good Doctor. The Good Doctor. Look it up on YouTube. But I know when I read it, I was quite surprised, Deborah. So do you think Riley's a Hollywood girl, Joe? Maybe. She doesn't want to be around Gracelands, does she? Doesn't she live in Australia? Can you tell me this, guys? Does Riley live in Australia with her husband and her child, Tupelo? So anyway, I'm going to have to go now because I'm going to cook dinner. But the general thing here is that I think a lot of things have happened that make Elvis look bad, and they're trying to make Priscilla look good. But it's so obvious that it's the other way around. Elvis was the victim. Priscilla was the bad person. I really believe that. And to any of you Priscilla fans out there, have you fallen for the fairy tale marriage and love affair that Priscilla and Elvis had back in the 60s? Have you fallen for it? Because if you do your homework and do your research, you're going to realize that this fairy tale never happened. There was a lot of double-crossing, conniving happening. Very unhappy times for Elvis. Elvis and Priscilla had some happiness. They did have some happiness. But they had a lot of unhappiness and a lot of underhanded behavior happening. And I'm not going to say Elvis was innocent, because Elvis made mistakes as well. Elvis had his affairs, and Elvis did wrong as well. But the difference is this, is that Priscilla has never admitted any wrongdoing ever, not even one thing. She's admitted to having an affair with Mike Stone, but she hasn't ever said it was wrong. Have you? I challenge you guys. Have any of you ever seen Priscilla admit to any wrongdoing ever? I don't mean admit that she had an affair. I mean that it was wrong. Has Priscilla Presley said, I did this, it was wrong, I should not have done it? One thing. I challenge you to go on YouTube and watch all the interviews. There's thousands, and you will not find Priscilla say, I was wrong. She'll say, I'm really glad that I split up. I was much happier when me and Elvis split up. She'll say Elvis was the love of my life. She'll say that Elvis was controlling and forced her how to dress. She'll say that he was constantly unfaithful because he was so famous and everyone loved him. She'll say all those kind of things. But she will never say, oh, and by the way, I did this. I did that. Never. Nothing. Even with the Riley Keough situation with Lisa Marie passing and that situation with the lawsuit, she didn't do anything wrong. She will just say, oh, no, it wasn't a lawsuit. It wasn't a lawsuit. We just had some differences that we need to resolve behind the scenes. It's no one's business. We're really happy now. Come on, guys. It's like we're all stupid. We're not stupid, are we? We know that probably behind the scenes, they probably can't stand each other, yeah? What do you think, guys? And Priscilla is very money orientated, and she's so career ambitious. She's 79 years old. She's 79 years old. She's running around the world trying to make more money. Come on. How many 79-year-olds are running around the world trying to make more money, trying to be more famous, trying to doing personal appearances and signing autographs for money at Comic-Con? Who does that? Come on. Even, no offense, many of the Elvis fans on my channel are in their 60s and 70s and 80s. And I would say that most of them are probably retired and spending time with their families and their grandkids and their great-grandkids, not running around trying to make money, trying to do personal appearances and sign autographs for cash. What do you think, guys? You tell me. Do you think Priscilla should be running around the world trying to make more money? Do you think that? And doing lawsuits and fighting. And she's got this Bridget Cruz lawsuit, this auctioneer woman that used to sell off all of these artifacts that she stole off Elvis and stole off Lisa Marie. And now they're in court against each other for money at 79. Yeah, Jerry's old now. I've seen him in his latest interviews. She is money hungry. Thanks, Holly. That's very kind of you to say. Don't forget, Priscilla was going bankrupt. The reason that Bridget Cruz stepped in to save Priscilla from going bankrupt. She stepped in and said, I can stop you from going bankrupt. She had this massive tax bill to pay. And Bridget Cruz come along with a plan to fix everything, to save Priscilla. And then Priscilla's thanks is to double cross her and say, oh, I didn't know what I was signing. and completely going back on all of it, even though Bridget Cruz has film footage of when she signed those contracts, she recorded it. So she's going to have a tough battle against Bridget Cruz, because Bridget Cruz, doesn't she have a lawyer background? So it's going to be a tough fight for her. So it's not all going to fall into place like she hoped. I'm 56 and I want to spend every night in bed. Laugh out loud. Hi, Cheryl. I know what you're saying. I'm 56. I'm 57 in 2 weeks. Larry Geller is a vegan. So I actually quite like Larry Geller, but I know he's an odd personality, but that would explain why he was so unwell, because I don't think, no offense, guys, but I think vegan can't be good for your health, can it? Can it? Do you guys think vegan is good for your health? Karma will get Priscilla, God knows all. It's very true. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go off and cook. So I just waffled on. So the general thing here was we are going to find the lies together. We are going to get to the truth. It ain't going to be easy. It's going to take years and years. We're all going to start digging. Please, in the comments, let me know anything you find out where one thing is being said, but the truth is different. Say it in the comments. I need to know. You need to give me this information. And we're going to keep digging, and we're going to get to the truth, and we are going to fight for Elvis. Us Elvis fans are going to fight for Elvis. Thanks, guys. All the best to you. Love the accent. Yeah, thanks, Victor. Proper British accent, yeah? Amen to all of you as well. Thanks, Joe. So thanks, Deborah. Thanks, Teresa. I think there's other names, but the names keep disappearing. Bye, Tracy. Bye, Holly. All the best. Take care.